Welcome to Life in the Music Business, a masterclass with Professor Pooch and your host, BACEFACE.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to our Music Business Masterclass, Life in the Music Business with Professor Pooch. Pooch is on the other line. How you doing tonight, Pooch?
I'm doing great. Just a crazy day welcome to the Pooch Palace, just a crazy day, but everything's cool. I'm still breathing. I'm away from the virus.
Just the essentials, huh?
Yeah. Well, the essentials I got. I mean, there's we have the food, and my office is the third floor of my house, so all I have to do is, well, the cat gives me plenty of exercise. I go up and down 3 flights of steps. The cat, it's funny, people own dogs, cats own people.
Yes, they do. Cats are different. Totally.
Yeah. They have staff. They have their own staff, Problem is we don't understand what they're trying to say. And my cat doesn't meow. What he does, he sounds like a baby duck.
Oh, wow.
Like, and he talks a lot like that. It's kind of strange. It's almost like that emu in that commercial, kind of thing. Yeah, once in a while, meow, very rarely. Usually if there's a cat on the other side of the screen door outside or something.
Yeah, so is every day in the music business. I mean, every day is brand new.
Yeah, I mean, every day is brand new in everybody's life. It's one of these Buddhist sayings or something. Look at you wake up. It's a new life. That day is a new life, and you get into all the importance of. There's only a certain amount of moments on Earth. Use them to the best of your ability and have fun with it. You got to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I was going more towards every day in the music business is it's just intriguing. Like there's always some new problem to tackle or something that needs to be accomplished.
Well, yeah, that's a great thing about music is accomplishing. There's nothing better feeling in the world like finishing a song or this or that, or like we're doing our shows. I mean, this is fun. Yeah. I have this saying, I am simply having fun with everything and everyone, which I make sure my sayings are rhythmic. So I could, it comes to me. I am simply having fun with everything and everyone. And have fun with everything. There's no law that says you can't. Yeah, but there's some intriguing things. It's just, could be quote unquote problems in the music industry, but I'd rather have those problems with my experience, knowledge and creativity. I'd rather have those problems than other kinds of problems. You know what I mean? So if I have to have problems, let it be in music. Well, and the thing is, the mistake people make is they focus on the problem instead of the solution.
Yeah, but it's tough. It's tough. I can't blame anybody for that because I mean.
Well, that's why you need the knowledge. You got to learn everything you can about the music industry and then let it just sit there and then turn on your creativity and using the knowledge. That's what we're trying to teach here in effect in this masterclass series. You just, with your creativity, you make it the knowledge to do what you want it to do. And you solve the problems. I mean, and look, we're a good example of a problem that is a funny situation, folks. Which is telling tales out of school or whatever. Well, when we were starting to do this show, we decided to do this masterclass series. Now, a little history here. Real quick, I started masterclass series in person in 2011. That was it's 2020 now, 9 years ago or so. And then we had trouble getting together. We would meet up here because this is a big room. And meet up here, it'd be about 10 or 12 people I thought were really serious about the music industry. And then a few years ago, I'm going to make this real short. A few years ago, I met Johnny, and Johnny became a part of what I do with the master class and kind of thing. So we decided we're going to do this show, and we designed this poster, and this poster looks so nice. and it had every place we're going to be. It's called Life in the Music Business. You know, it's trademarked and everything's taken care of. We made one major mistake, and that is we never told anybody what it was on the poster. You know, that it's a podcast. It's audio and video podcast. All you do is you see these places you can go to. We tell people to go to these places, but they have no idea what they're going in for, you know?
That's the funniest part, too. The best part for me is how long I sat there and worried about every single small logo and how this looked in with this. And
yeah, but we loved we got into the look of it. You know, it's equal to a thing that happens in the studio to a lot of times. It's where people don't turn the volume up when they're making their mixes and stuff because they hear the words even when they don't hear the words. So it's like expecting the world to just read into your mind and know the words if you cover them up. And yeah, I mean, our problem was that we had it looking good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The proportions are there, guys. I believe I looked at it from every possible angle.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people. Yeah. You know, I walk into a house, and if a picture is a little out of kilter, I have to fix it. You know, so it looked really good, but then all of a sudden, why do I have to say all this stuff in the description? Nobody knows what the heck this poster is saying. So yeah, we made a mistake. But the thing is, folks, I have this saying that, you know, I say and do and, you know, embarrassing things like everybody else does. And, you know, people always say, well, a year from now, you'll laugh about it. I just turn up, you know, move the timetable ahead and just laugh at it, you know, because the problem was, and it's a real simple problem and solution, is we were too close to it. We knew what it was. We knew it was a masterclass music business series, you know, and when they're doing all these episodes and they'll be released on Tuesdays and Fridays, but we weren't saying any of that. No. You know, it looked nice.
I'm gonna make sure to put it up after I edit this. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna put up the before and after, and how much.
Yeah, but it was only a couple lines. But God, tell the people what it is. But no, there is a good point to all this that I'm talking about, and that is you could be too close to something. Let's say, for example, an artist, it's really hard for an artist to be their own manager because they're emotionally involved. They're too close to the subject and stuff like that. And in that, I've been doing it since 2011, and Johnny's been doing it for 2-3 years, you know, with me with this master, because we just know what it is and didn't think we had to describe it to anybody else. So, but seriously, everybody needs somebody from the outside to look in, which brings up major situations because there is a lead in all this. First of all, it's very good to make mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the farther you'll go. You know, as long as you learn from it. What we're trying to do here on this show is try to make it so you have as few mistakes as possible. We're trying to give you.
But this is how you know you're on a good path. If you're making mistakes, that means you're taking action, which means you're actually doing it, not just trying.
Yeah, you put it perfectly. So many people are afraid of making a mistake. The guitarists do in the studio all the time. Well, I'm picking on guitarists today. Mm-hmm. But what they'll do is they'll play not to make a mistake instead of letting loose. And if you make a mistake, you re-record the line. You know, it's not there for eternity in a studio. You know, make the biggest mistakes you can make. You know, some of it might be better than what you planned.
You're surprised. I mean, majority of the time when I make music, like if it doesn't click within like 20 minutes, like I know that I have to just go to something else because when it's there, and that's the best stuff.
Yeah, I can agree with you. But the thing is, I would still record everything, at least roughly, because it's another day say, wait a minute, I can't get this tune out of my head. There must have been something there. You know, it just, your mind went someplace else. But yeah, So the point is that you
Represent.
need somebody else. You know, the thing DIY, you'll hear me say it different times, do it yourself kinds of stuff, equals hobby. If you really want to get somewhere, you're going to need to deal with other people. But there's a major problem that comes up. You want to tell people your ideas, but you can't protect an idea. You can't copyright an idea, you can't trademark it, and you can't patent it.
Nope.
How do you know you can trust somebody? I mean, that's one of the jokes I say. Two things are not in any contract. Can you trust this person, you know, with, and, you know, they might be handling your money even, you know, but can you trust them? But can they actually do something for you? And, you know, but, you know, trusting somebody. So how do you solve this trusting thing? Look, everybody has strengths. Everybody has weaknesses in certain areas. Now, I mean, you know, yeah, I've been around a long time. I know the creative business, legal, music inside and out. But you put me in front of a computer with the new digital programs. I mean, I run a studio, but it was tape and a workstation. But you put me in there, that would be a weakness for me. Yeah. The mistake people make is instead of building their strengths up even further, they try building their weaknesses. No, build your strengths.
Always.
Yeah. And the thing is, what if you have weaknesses? I mean, mine's technical. I mean, and so I'm not an artist. I'm not a graphic person. Luckily, Johnny did a great job designing the poster. I know when something looks right, but I can't make it right.
I'll tell you, everything that Pooch is preaching right now, I will tell you, I taught myself how to do everything just to be able to save time and actually get it done on my time frame. So
that's a good point. But what happens is when you start doing shows and you're doing all the music you're doing, there's only so many hours in a day. And it's really a shame because I would like a 36-hour day. Second of all, I ordered 5 clones months ago and they haven't gotten here yet. I need some clones that I have to teach. They're going to know what to do.
Oh my God. Can you imagine how fast we'll be able to accomplish things? Like,
oh yeah. I said to myself, and really say, talking to yourself's okay. Just don't answer yourself, But I talk to myself all the time. But seriously, back to our issue. The thing is that you have to trust people along the way, but how do you trust them? How do you make things safe enough if you can't copyright an idea? You can't protect it, trademark and stuff. Find somebody where your weakness is, find somebody that's their strength. And that's the kind of person you want. Like my thing is I'm really good with the business of music, but business of business, I don't want to have anything to do with. But of course, I have to have somebody I can trust dealing with money and things and all kinds of stuff, okay? But how do you trust a person, and people change, things happen, you got to protect yourself. Well, there are a couple ways you can kind of protect yourself with an idea. And they'll go so far, but the first one is called an NDA. That's what you're going to hear it called, an NDA. It stands for non-disclosure agreement. And that is, I say, for example, I'm coming to Johnny and Johnny doesn't know me, but I want to talk to him about an idea. I'm going to have him sign an NDA. It's a secrecy agreement that they're not allowed to say anything. And what I also recommend with it is what I call non-circumvention. In other words, Johnny better be sure that I'm not going to go around him to his contacts, circumvent him going around, you got to deal through the person and stuff. Mm-hmm. But a secrecy agreement will help to some point because at least the person's on notice and stuff.
Yeah.
But it depends on the topic and subject. Like here, this is something new. It's a show. I mean, it's not a song that I can copyright or this or that. It's a show idea. And I mean, I've been doing it forever, but it's we're doing it different and different. We could say it now because it's trademark, the name and all that stuff. But what we're doing is we want to give you the knowledge, but learning how to use that knowledge to jump ahead. And that's our shtick, shtick, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now there is another way to protect certain things. And the second way is, let's say you have an idea for a film or an idea for a show. You got to shoot some pilots or write a sample script. Something where, see, to copyright something, it's got to be, quote unquote, affixed to something tangible. In English, you can see it or hear it. Okay, it's like a recording. Okay, you can hear it. Fine, it exists, There's also other ways you can start protecting yourself. I always recommend everybody gets an LLC, which is limited liability company. It's where you can be one person and it's not as corporate hell. You don't have to go to a whole corporation, but you can protect yourself somewhat. But, and you have your NDA through your company or whatever. The thing is, own your own stuff before you deal with anybody else as much as you can. Now, I know with the show idea, that wouldn't have been possible. There's no like script for it. I just talk. Whatever the hell comes out, comes out. We cover a lot of topics in a lot of different directions, and Johnny's the same way. So
that's the cool thing about our show. It's more free form than it is like, this is what we're learning today, and you must pay attention the whole time. I'm saying, like, we're not in the school system.
I actually have people that come to me, we have to do it video-wise now and stuff, is that they hated regular classes, even when you could go to the schools. You'd have to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you have to sit to this subject and that subject. We're all over the place, but we cover everything. And you need to see the whole picture to function well.
Yeah, I mean, even going to school for music, I still wasn't the best at waking up for 8 a.m. classes. So don't blame yourself too much, people. Because
when I taught at the Art Institute of Philadelphia, if I ever had an 8 o'clock in the morning class, which is not good for me at all, I'm up all night usually, they knew, well, let the teeth take effect before you start hammering me with questions and stuff. So, all that caffeine and stuff. But the idea is, look, folks, if you make mistakes, laugh about it and move forward. It's just learning how to use the knowledge. All right, now you make a mistake. So let's protect yourself from making mistakes when you're dealing with other people. See, what kills me is that a lot of people, they see a contract. It could be a management contract, a record company contract. They see themselves signing a contract. I see them signing a contract to a person or to a company. Mm-hmm. And people change people, and situations change people. Maybe somebody was really cool, but they got into a bad place and they just need to do something you don't want them to do and like sue you or something like that,
Exactly. Been there, done that, seen that. Got to keep moving forward. And even when you're making mistakes, I mean, when you're making mistakes and you know that you have a high goal that you're trying to actually reach. I mean, it's so easy to just reach out and grab whatever's the closest to you. But when you really dare and push and risk for something greater that's even bigger than anything you could ever imagine, you'll get a lot farther than you ever would just reaching out your hand and grabbing what's in front of you.
There's no doubt about it. Matter of fact, if your goal isn't at least a little bit scary, you're not aiming high enough. You're just moving sideways, doing things you already know how to do. You want to reach goals that are out there, a little bit scary. Don't worry about how you're going to reach the goal. That's not important. If you start working towards it, the universe is going to help you out because things are going to start happening while you're doing these things. You're going to be meeting people and things like that. Yay.
I literally had no idea how I was going to get into the music business when I first started. It feels like to me, it just happened. Like I just did the work every day. I showed up, I learned, and I was producing and doing all this stuff. And now 7 years later, I'm here explaining A lot more than I ever would have thought I would have known.
Well, I think my downfall was when I was 8 years old and my teacher told my mother he should be playing an instrument. I think because I could sight read, just somehow I was able to I'd never seen music. I just could sight read music. It was just one of those weird things in life, you know. Probably, you know, one of my ancestors was Mozart or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, roll over Beethoven, you know, kind of thing. You know, I don't know. But, you know, have fun with things, folks. And, you know, and people say, well, I'm waiting for the right time. The right time is always now. You know, you'll notice the major companies, they don't ask permission to be able to advertise or this or that, these social media things. They rather jump into it and then ask for forgiveness later. And that's what all the major companies, that's how they do things. They'll put out things that don't even totally work yet, that are in what is known as beta mode, beta testing. And you just got to get out and do it. You know, just start working towards it. It should be, matter of fact, it doesn't matter also with the creative or business side or whatever. I mean, and realize you do need outside help. I mean, I can guide the world. I can guide all kinds of creative people, producers, songwriters, and I could guide studios. I can guide publishers, managers, but I can't guide me. I'm too close. When I write a song, I'm the hopeless artist, and I need somebody else to, you know, hey, what do you think? You know. You get too emotionally involved when you're too close to something, you know. The way I'm able to do it with other people is because I know the business and I know entertainment law, but I can then take their situations and just put it together because I'm looking from the outside. It's an advantage sometimes. And I love doing it too. Like being like a bouncing board, I call it, you know, with ideas, because I know they can trust me because I don't talk. You know, as we talk a lot, we're going to teach you a lot. We don't drop names.
No.
You know, we're not into, first of all, if anybody comes to you and wants to sign you or something and starts dropping all these names they know, run. Because the real people don't need to drop names.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's one thing to lightly mention, like, people you've worked
with. Well, there's ways of doing it.
Yeah, it's another thing to be like, oh, yeah, P. Diddy's my right-hand man, and I'm friends with Jay-Z, and, like, me and him just had dinner with Kanye the other day. Like, we know that's all, like, it's either you met the one person on earth that actually knows all these people, or it's complete lie.
Oh, believe me, I've heard it all the time, you know. And when I start hearing that, first of all, if a person has to brag, they're not confident in themselves. And that's a topic for another day. But, you know, confidence has got to come from within. But when you hear somebody bragging, they're trying to prove to themselves that they're somebody special.
They're trying to make up for what they don't have.
Hey, there you go. That's a way to put it. Yep.
And that's why somebody actually just texted me. It's actually interesting. Like the question was kind of along the lines of, it came out of left field, but it was like, do you ever feel frustrated by the way that people perceive your work, like what you do, like you knowing that?
But that's a good question and a thing that comes up. And the thing is, first of all, everybody has their own perception of something. Art is an opinion. I mean, whether it'll sell, you need a lot of people's opinion, people willing to buy it or listen to your show or whatever. It's an opinion. Matter of fact, there's one thing in common between all superstars, the real top people. They're not liked. They're either loved or hated.
Yeah. That is true. And they're always different.
Yeah, I mean, it means they're unique. They stand out. That's something to aim for, folks, to stand out. Have your own sound, have your own image, you be you. It's easy to have an image, just be yourself. I mean, I'm super lucky because I look strange already.
You look like
I look like me. That's what this is who I am, you know? And I've changed looks through the years. I've always had a little beard up until about 2004 when I went indie fully. And, you know, it just, wait a minute, I'm a Pooch. I need This is me, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
And it's
it's
important
just the way.
that you're able to recognize that and do what you had to do for yourself. I mean, you
Well,
didn't
I
get
learned the hard way.
uh,
My mistake was trying to be like everybody else in high school, and I just didn't fit.
yeah, I did the same thing, honestly. But I had a different perspective. I grew up overweight my whole life, so I was dealing with.
Everybody has things to overcome. It's
Of
just a
course,
different thing. Sometimes it's poverty. Sometimes it's overweight.
yeah,
Sometimes it's being Jewish or black or, you know, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you can get through it.
Oh, you can
Right.
always get through it.
If you guys have any questions or anything you want answered or anything that's on your mind involving the music business, feel free to reach out to us by email, lifeinthemusicbusiness@gmail.com, or ask@professorpooch.com, and we'll be able to address it on the show. And we're going to probably start a new segment soon, just involving just all the followers and the subscribers and everybody. That we appreciate you guys, and we want to make sure that we give back at all times.
And yeah, we're also going to be doing other things. Also, we're going to have a lot of guests on, you know, through the times and stuff. But we want to get you moving and learning enough to even think of what kind of questions you would ask somebody. It sounds funny, but we just want to give you an overall picture and then bring some guests in. We're going to have segments and stuff like that. But I really like the idea of just speaking openly, because that's the way you need to get the whole picture. And the more of these shows you watch or listen to, depends on which way you're doing this, the more you're going to get the whole picture of everything that's really going on. And that when that picture clicks, that's an aha moment. Everything clicks in. Oh, that's how it works, you know. I didn't know that, you know, and all that kinds of things, and it'll just all click into place. And the way we're doing it with these, setting a picture up for everybody, you know, of seeing the business as a whole, and, you know, and that's what's called life in the music business. We live in this business.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I literally make my entire living off of music, from engineering, production, doing stuff with Pooch. I mean, it's just full time for me, and I've learned to. Took me a while to get to this point, but now that I'm here, I would rather, I could never have another job. Like this is
Yeah, I mean, I'm just having fun. It's whatever I do, it's got to be fun and worthwhile. The real secret is, folks, I'm going to give you a life lesson that will really help you out. And that is, stay away from negative people, obnoxious people, and drama people. You know, the drama queens and kings, they come in both sexes, you know, and more. You know, stay away from the people. They drain your energy.
yeah, and then
If you
that's what you put back out because you're around them. You didn't even have to do
Exactly.
it.
It's a low energy, and you just attract low vibes. You don't want that. You want to attract having fun vibes, you know, and learning. And, you know, learning's fun.
Yeah,
I'm still learning stuff after
of course.
50 years.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm still learning every day, but I mean, even being in the same room as somebody that's one of those, like the people you just mentioned, like obnoxious or just problem, just, you know what I mean? They just cause problems all the time. Even being in the room with them.
Yeah, you feel their vibes, their energy. See, what people don't understand is we give off energy. We give off everything in the world is energy, okay? It's frequency at a certain vibration, okay? Everything's energy vibrating at a certain frequency. Let's put it that way. But everything's energy. And if you're around negative people, see, everybody has an aura. You don't see it. It's invisible. Your heart gives out electricity. I can't get to the physics of it. I'm not a physicist. But your brain gives off, your heart gives off, and you give off energy. And if you're near people, you're going to pick up their negative energy. And what you want to do is attract them to your positive energy and make them happy. They'll be happier people, that's for sure. But some people, I just think, like to people to fawn over them and say, poor you. Yeah, that's, man, as songwriters, we learn, we know how to say what other people wish they had the guts to say.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is that, you know, the idea is to observe the drama. Don't get dragged into it. Yes, if you can help people, of course help people. But you'll be able to tell if that's all they do is just try to drag you into one drama after another drama. I'm sorry, you have to stay away. And people say, but they're family. I'm sorry,
Yeah, but
even family.
I had to deal with that in the beginning of my career because a lot of the kids I grew up with and went to school with, they were very obnoxious and just wanted to party all the time and stuff like that. And what I wanted to do my goals did not match up with their goals at the time. And I decided to go out on my own and do everything by myself. And I consumed myself with my work so much that I lost all those friendships. I lost all those memories or whatever you want to call it.
What did you really lose?
That's what I'm saying. At that moment, it was like I was losing out. But then once I realized afterwards what I had actually been doing to my own advantage, like I was creating my own luck by just consuming myself with my work to the point where it just became second nature to me. Now I could close my eyes and improvise a song on the piano for you, but 7 years ago I didn't even know how to even go about that. You know what I mean? So
just trust yourself, have fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? Exactly. It's like they say it's very important to be self-disciplined. If you hate that word self-discipline, just say self-leadership. But if you're the boss and we're all entrepreneurs here. Remember, this is a class for music business entrepreneurs. If you're in the music industry, you're an entrepreneur, okay? And just be yourself and have fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's important to consume yourself with your work and be able to learn and take that action forward because, I mean, at the end of the day, the only person that can hold you accountable is you. Unless you have somebody that you can really trust that can be over there to give you the outside perspective. In the beginning parts of this whole thing of this is a masterclass, but this also relates to a lot of people that are trying to get into the business or are just stopping in this episode just to hear what we're talking about. I mean, it's an interesting life, and if you're even if you're in that a bit interested where you've clicked on our podcast or you followed us on Instagram or you've seen us on TikTok or anywhere the platforms in which we are everywhere, by the way.
Yep.
If you have clicked on any piece of our content, you just know that you did that for a reason for yourself. So take that step forward and learn and just try it out and just see if it's for you. You can never go wrong trying new things. And
that comes up a lot, that subject of, well, this person wants to do this with me, they want to do that, and I'll say, well, talk never hurts. You can talk to them, but see if it's really you and does it feel comfortable. Trust your gut with the person. That's what I miss, man. It's so easy when you can meet in person. Video's okay. It's better than the phone because you can't, even though you can feel people over the phone, but it's nothing like just being in the aura of them and you.
That's why it doesn't make sense being around negative people. Like even people in the industry that I've worked with for a while were negative, and I had to cut those people off because it's just like, even if you make music and even say you have something to offer me, like your music is way better than mine, but like when I'm in the room with you and you just have you're complaining, you have negative vibes, and just like the vibes in general, that is just everything for me. Like if I can't feel comfortable around you, like that's how I know what to where to put myself. And most of the time it's just it's like my intuition telling me what to do.
Yeah, well, and I tell people one of the things when you're choosing a studio to work with, one of the first things, if not number one, is do you feel comfortable there? Now, objects you don't feel comfortable with, but people you do. And if the people there you're comfortable with, they make it real comfortable for you, that's a major plus to me for me to be able to work. I know some artists that have gone into studios just to be in that studio, but the vibe wasn't right, and it showed in their performance. Yeah, of course, they have to have what you need, things like that. I mean, it's more than just feeling comfortable. They do have to have the equipment and expertise that you need to do what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my thing is like, it's more than just music to me. It's like if we can just hang out and we can just vibe and cool, and you know what I mean, eat some food, hang out, like it should be like a normal environment, and then that's where the best music is made. You should never have to force anything.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's why, it's life in the music business. That's what we're living. And there's no experience like it, and just Just use your creativity for positive things. Don't drag yourself down.
And here's another thing too I noticed too, like that I feel that is super important to say. Like, don't ever feel like you have to apologize because you removed yourself from somebody's life because you felt that you're like both you together didn't have the same goals or dreams or whatever, like, and you removed yourself from the situation. You don't owe anybody an apology for the things that
Well, you're doing them a favor too, but you really didn't fit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing nowadays. It's like with all the social media and stuff, it's like we're losing the human interaction that is necessary. I mean, just because not everything is like happy go lucky all the time. If you don't feel like good about something, you're allowed to say it. You're allowed to like remove yourself from situations or stop talking to negative people or whatever it is for you. Like, you don't owe anybody anything but yourself.
no, agreed. And the way one way I put it is, you have to live with yourself 24/7. Okay, 24-hour days, 7 days a week. You got to live with yourself, so you got to do what's important to you. I actually have a mathematical equation for dealing with people. Now, everything's either a plus or a minus in your opinion. Okay, so if somebody wants you to do something with them or whatever, and it's a plus to them because they want you to be in it, and it's a plus to you, do it. But let's say it's a plus for them, but it's a negative for you. You don't fit, or this isn't right. I mean, I've turned down things that just say, look, that's not my wheelhouse. That's not what I do. They just think I can do anything. Forget it. You know, there's things I can't do, even with legal and stuff. But a plus and a minus, they cancel each other out. It's better, you know, you want two pluses where you're working with somebody and you're comfortable with them and you accomplish things that way. Yeah. Then what you need is that self-discipline to get things done, that self-leadership, and the willpower to focus on what you need to do, but have fun with it.
Yeah, it's important. It's important. It's important. Even when it becomes your job, like the transition for me, it was kind of sudden. Coming out of school, I went to Temple University, got my degree in media studies and production, focused on engineering, and I had a minor in entrepreneurship and innovation management, which, believe it or not, was like one of the most incredible things I've ever done for myself, just learning some stuff from that. So like,
cool. I did not know that. I did not know that you did that. No.
Yeah, super cool. I mean, long story short, I mean, we were building products. It was just like, it was just the whole cool thing, just showing you what it's like to like start a business from scratch and to get the product and get it on the shelf and what it's going to cost you. And like stuff like that. It was about innovating and being able to create a market for something that wasn't there before you were there. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, but now, see, by using your creativity with it, with that knowledge you learn, you can keep updating it for the times.
Yeah.
Because what worked 5 years ago, I mean, let's face it, the world has been turned on its end.
Oh my God.
I mean, you know, so everything's different. So you've got to use your creativity with the knowledge to make it work in today's world with the way social media is. I mean, you graduated just a couple years ago, say, and when you graduated, 2 years difference nowadays is like I put it. You used to say, well, the music, you know, this ain't your grandfather's music business anymore. Hell, it ain't your parents, it ain't your older brother's music business anymore. It keeps changing. I mean, all of a sudden, once last, you know, TikTok came out of nowhere, boom, boom, you know, things happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like I was saying, my transition into the music, like transitioning from like, I went to school, when I was going to school at Temple, I was working like 3 jobs to be able to do what I had to do in my life, right? Working at a gym, I was working, doing stuff on the side, helping my dad and doing this and doing that. I was getting money from everywhere I could. And then once I got a job I got a few internships, basically one of them turned into a job. That job led me for 3 years, and just transitioning from something that I was very passionate about to making it my work was a very like hard change for me, believe it or not, because then it became like I was a slave to the clock, because even then, loving it as much as I did, I didn't get the opportunity to to create for myself. I had dedicated my time to create for others, and over time that hurt me a lot, but I was able to recover from it.
But I'm sure you learned a lot
Oh
from
man,
it.
let me tell you, I'm just saying, like, not everything is gonna.
I mean, at least you were doing things in your field.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason I'm saying it like that is because everybody thinks it's always so happy-go-lucky. Like, as soon as you want to follow your dreams, that everything's just going to go your way. That's not the truth.
Well, the thing is, you make it go your way by staying involved and learning and creating and just make it go your way. You know, it's
of course. I mean, but no matter what, there's always going to be like uphill battles and stuff like that, and that's just the name of anything.
Yeah, but if you have a reason to reach the top, you have a purpose, the obstacles will move away. They won't seem, what would have seemed like a big obstacle, but you're so close and stuff, it just becomes a little thing you just shove away, and you just keep going forward with what you're doing. If it's an obstacle, you have to change a little, you change a little, you know. But God, just keep moving forward. That's the big thing.
Yeah, it's just super important. And this is the other cool thing that I actually did that it was kind of by accident, but when it was like 2014, I graduated, or 2013, I graduated high school, and I had started with like one of those multi-level marketing companies, but was some of the things that I learned about, like Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie and Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and those books that were written by those three people right there, like incredible bodies of work. Like you need it's an ultimate entrepreneur like mindset and understanding like how to win friends, influence people. That's like the number one. But basically, doing that helped me realize I needed to write journals. So me journaling everything that happened in my life every day, just little small things. Oh, today sucked. This person did this to me. Oh, this girl left me. Oh, I met this person. I have 6 years of journals that are sitting here just laying around my house.
It'll become a movie sometime.
Yeah, exactly.
Good documentary on.
I'm saying maybe one day I'm lucky enough to have a documentary made about me, but even until then, like I could be writing my own autobiography by just writing journals. So if you need somebody to talk to, that's a good place, believe it or not.
But it's also the best things to keep in journals. I have to remember, because I deal with so many people, to write down, oh, I talked to so-and-so this day, and I gave them this song, and I had this client I have to do this contract for. That's very important. But another thing that's very important to put in a journal is every day you should list like 5 things at the end of the day, for example, that you're really grateful for.
That's a
you
good
know,
that's
it's like because it goes to your heart and it puts you in the right thing to be grateful, it's upper vibes, higher vibes, and it's a good way to reprogram your mind to just, the people's poor me, or I look at myself, and let's say me, okay, I have a guitar, it's on that side. Yeah, I forget, everything's opposite on the video. Guitar, I have my own guitar that I like. I have a nice room to work with. I'm eating, I'm not starving. Everybody has things to be grateful for. They just don't think about them. They look for the problems instead of all the good stuff they do have. Hey, folks, if you have food to eat and you have a place that you keep warm or cool and things like that, you're ahead of a lot of the world, And
that's crazy, because you know why? Like, you're always comparing everything that we see on social media. The reason I believe that it's such a distraction is because it's just like always like, oh my God, Kylie Jenner did this and she looked like this and she does that and this.
You're judging and comparing. Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes.
Unless you compare to something, to unless a person compares themselves to somebody else, they would never really be able to decipher what they are unless they compare it to something.
Exactly. Because, you have to have something nobody's too fat, too thin, too tall, too small, too this or whatever, unless you compare it to something, okay. We're on Earth. We're to an ant. We're gigantic. We look to the universe. The universe thinks we're tiny. The ant thinks they're real tiny, but the atoms think the ant is gigantic. You know, it's all matter of perspective and stuff like that. And yes, one of the worst thing, you should not be comparing and judging. There's room for everybody to be successful.
Yeah.
Just be successful. You should be comparing yourself to yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like your old self. That's a good thing. Like,
okay.
You know, because
yeah, you want to keep
I could see where better. I was. I could tell you where I was 5 years ago, and if me in 2015 was looking at Johnny now in 2020, he'd be like, "Yo, what's going on, man? Look at you. You're doing big things. Bada bing, bada boom." Me, I'm looking here. I'm looking backwards. I'm like, that's old news.
It's past tense. You can't live in the past. You know, my thing is honor and learn from the past.
Yeah.
But you got to live today. You got to accept the conditions of today and adjust them to your advantage, okay? And work towards creating a future. The past, yeah, learn from it. That's good. I mean, I've learned a lot from my mistakes and other people's mistakes in the past, you know, so I don't get screwed again. You know, I got screwed many years ago, like anybody else. When everybody starts from the beginning at some point, you know.
Yeah, I got screwed. But
that you learn something. As long as you learn something from it.
Well, why do you think I wanted to learn the music business? And that's what led me putting that into the universe, saying I need to learn the business. All of a sudden, boop, 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 connected you and I together, and then now here we are 3 years later. After we, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, and we both are helping each other in our own ways. I mean, you could make a poster that I can. I need a host. I need somebody throwing things at me, you know, figuratively.
And that's why he picked me, guys. I am the best around. Nobody.
No, the idea is I wanted somebody I could have fun with, and we make it into a live.
We're both Aries. I mean, believe me, we either work.
Yeah, oh boy, 2 grams.
Yeah, exactly. We either work side by side or we're going head on head. Like there's no tomorrow.
But it's never boring. And I'm married to an Aries woman, and I have an Aries son. So believe me, and I've worked with a lot of Aries in the music business, but I'm not going to name drop.
I wish you would, though.
You know, but yeah, well, I came from the majors. I knew a lot of the major artists, but you know, this is not about me and them. It's about me and everybody else out in the world that I'm trying to advance this knowledge to, so nobody else gets screwed.
Oh, of course. And I mean, this is like just as much of a community as it is anything else. That's what we're building here. So we want everybody to feel involved and feel like they have and they have a voice. Like everybody matters that is part of life in the music business, because this is a whole collective. You know what I mean? And we're going to continue to grow with you every single day. Pooch and I are learning every single day, and
sure.
There's no shame in saying that you want to learn and be able to progress yourself. So join along us and just
believe me, we're trying to save you a lot of the horrors that we went through. You know, let us make some of the mistakes, but you got to be out there making mistakes too to bring it back from the beginning. Don't be afraid of making mistakes, because you'll never get any place. And you put it perfectly, Johnny. It shows you're active.
Yeah,
if you're just sitting there, nothing's going to happen in your career.
Obviously, not going to be making mistakes. If I was sitting here and I just watched Netflix all day, every day, I'm not going to be making mistakes, because, I mean, I would be making a mistake. I just wouldn't be realizing it until I look back 30 years and be like, you know what?
I wasted all those hours watching that Netflix movie instead of, I could have written 3 songs, you know. But now it's past tense. Get over the Netflix thing, move forward.
Of course. But, I mean, you have to be able to, you have to forgive yourself and let go to be able to like move forward.
Yeah. Forgive yourself, forgive others too for the way they are in your mind. You have to go and face them and stuff, because otherwise you're thinking about them instead of yourself. Focus on yourself. Don't compare good or bad with anything or anybody. Yeah. Just make yourself the best you can be.
That's all you could ask for. And I mean, like I said, always feel free to reach out, ask questions, comment, like, subscribe. Share.
Any topic having anything to do with creative business or legal ends in the music industry. And you can go into film. I mean, I know film pretty well too. I've been there.
It does. And some TV as well too.
Well, yeah, I just don't like to confuse people. Yeah, I mean, If they ever see me on some of those indie films I was acting in where I played these rare creatures and stuff. Of course, I played 4 wizards. Duh. Yeah, I played God, wizards, creatures, critters. Played 6 mental patients. I played 12 homeless people. I mean, I played a lot of roles. I do know film. I still do business and legal for film, but I don't do any more acting right now. I'm just going to do this show, and this is fun. I can ad lib.
Exactly.
I can just talk. I don't have to learn lines. I don't like learning lines. It's when I do interviews, which I love doing interviews, but I don't want to know the questions beforehand. Just throw stuff at me. That's fun.
Yeah.
I need to be real. I don't want to have to think of a question to answer beforehand.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the best things I could say to lead us out is that we have episodes coming out every Tuesday and Friday. So like, subscribe, share, and gear up and show up and listen to the podcast and take some notes. Because I mean, believe me, the more that you soak this up now, and the more this becomes a daily routine for you, the further you'll get quicker.
Faster, yeah. You get further faster. The idea is to give you a big jump start, inspire you, and teach you to give you a big jump start in your career. Whatever stage you're in, it doesn't matter the style of music either. Nope. It's music business is the music business, folks. Yeah, they have the little quirks, but let's just say tune in for the next episode.
All right, see you guys.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks for watching. Tune in for the next episode.